Fidia Symposium. Piera Parenzan will speak about from science to practice, understanding the role of hyaluronic acid in osteoarthritis treatment. Welcome, Piera.
Thank you. Thank you so Yes, now yes. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the faculty of EGAA, and especially to Adel Hamed, that is our close friend, let's say. So thank you for the opportunity to be here and to speak to all of you in this very short talk about the science and the practice. So in order to understand a little bit, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. To understand a little much better the role of Fidia, but in general about the intraarticular hyaluronic acid product in osteoarthritis treatment. We know that the management of osteoarthritis is a pathology that is taken care by different specialists, orthopedic surgeons, as well as rheumatologists, rehabilitation doctors, and as well as sport med doctors. So first of all, we have to be guided by our or your society regarding this treatment. So, no. Oh, we can manage it in this way. It does, yeah. It doesn't work. Forward in the middle. Okay, so speaking about the guidelines and speaking about the different society was to guide our thoughts and our for our patients, we can start from the EULAR, from the European guidelines, to ORC, from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, as well as American College of Rheumatology, up to the American Medical Society for Sport Medicine and the European group, and in order to end with ESCHIO Society. So starting from the first one, EULAR, that in 2003 was the first society who recommended the use of intraarticular HA for the management of knee osteoarthritis, 2003, 17 years ago. And then in 2005 for the hip, in 2007 for the hand. Then we moved to, so we had 3 green lights, knee, hip, and hand for more than 15 years on the management of OA from EULAR. Then we have ORC in 3 different editions, 2008, 9, and 14. 14, unfortunately, in the last one, so the previous one, this one, was the recommendation was uncertain for the first time, but we will see later the final decision. Then we came 2013 from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. Maybe all of you are aware about this, and you should be aware even that this recommendation are based just on 14 clinical trials regarding HA-based products. And so this recommendation was very, very high criticized. And it is so curious that 1 year before the American Academy no recommendation, the American College of Rheumatology in 2012 and even in 2014, they strongly recommend the use of HA, recommend the use of intraarticular hyaluronic acid injection for the treatment of osteoarthritis for knee OA. You know that a lot of times I highlight knee OA just because in US the intraarticular HA-based treatments are allowed just for knee osteoarthritis, neither for hip nor for hand. And so this is the reason why, for instance, here we have just knee when we speak about US guidelines, even if from orthopedic surgeons or from rheumatologists, and when we speak about Europe, we can speak about shoulder, knee, hip, and ankle as well. And this is thanks to the 2014 guidelines from the ESCIO, that is European Society for Clinical Economic Aspect of Osteoporosis, Osteoarthritis, and Musculoskeletal Disease. So, furthermore, we came to the American Medical Society for Sport Medicine, and as I heard in the previous lectures from one of your colleagues that are present here, it's very impressive for us to highlight the fact that we are speaking about US guidelines, but in this case it's just regarding sport med, and in capital letter, they wanted to highlight the high quality evidence. We recommend viscosupplementation injection from Kellen-Lawrence grade 2 and 3, that is our common normal patients suffering for hip or knee OA. So, and this is from US. Then we have the RhoV Square. RhoV Square is a special society to take care about this treatment based on viscoelasticity products that are HA-based sprays. So 2015, 17, and 18, they are all of them really in favor of these treatments. And so at the end, we have the whole scheme regarding all the green lights in favor of the use of intra-articular HA treatment for OA management. First of all, I like to thank Professor Balash, that was the first one. Maybe all of you know quite well Professor Balash. In 1993, wrote something regarding this new concept, viscosupplementation. That was a new concept in the treatment of osteoarthritis. What is this concept speak about? This is a very simple concept. So the viscosupplementation is based on the hypothesis that intra-articular exogenous administration of HA is able to restore viscoelasticity of the synovial fluid, thus improving joint function and reducing pain. So it's a very, very simple concept. But it is not so simple for us. So we know that the rationale for HA use is based on two different. I can speak without mic, but okay. No, now it's okay. Thank you. It's based on two different stages. So we have always to think about. At first thought, viscosupplementation for all of us should be mechanical properties. But we have always to highlight the second step, that for Ielgan, for instance, for our products, is the first step. So is the physiological and biological properties of hyaluronic acid. I do not want to bother you with this, with all this mechanism of action, but just to highlight that there is a proven efficacy and a proven clinical trial, and if you want, we are more than happy to assist you in any kind of clinical evidence about the interplay between the chondrocyte and HA in the extracellular matrix, about the synoviocyte and HA, because you know that the endogenous physiological HA is synthesized by the synoviocyte. And so, thanks to this paper, we can highlight the fact that HA is able to interact with the synoviocyte and with the receptors on the surface of the synoviocyte, CD44, ICAM-RAM, and RAM, in order to give the right signal to the nucleus of the synoviocyte to rebuild, to synthesize again the ex novo endogenous and high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. So, and the factors that contributed to the patient response, so why sometimes we have a very good responders with our patient or sometimes not, because it is not just a matter of molecular weight. with our patients. We can speak about the numbers of receptors, the dosage, the volume of the HA, the dosing regimen. So it's not so simple. When I want to highlight this, it's very, very important that when you think about viscosupplementation, you do not have just to think about mechanical properties, about lubrication, about shock absorption activity. Because we have always with our products, because you know that Hyalgan is the only one HA-based drug worldwide, we wanted to highlight the biological or pharmaceutical properties of HA. So based on the fact that induce biosynthesis of HA and other extracellular matrix components, reduce the loss of proteoglycans in cartilage, reduce inflammatory cells activity to reduce HA degradation, and reduce induction of pain mediators. So can be considered a product that can show anti-inflammatory effect even if it is not an anti-inflammatory drug. So, and we thank Vitanzo that in 2007 he spoke about hyalurons. Is clinical effectiveness dependent on molecular weight? Yes, it is. We start always from the molecular weight, because when we speak about molecular weight, we do not have to think about HA-based product as just one class. We have to go in the details of molecular weight, because only low molecular weight, very well defined low molecular weight, can induce pharmacological activity. The other one might, or higher molecular weight, should be classified as a simple viscous supplement. So regarding our product, Hyalgan, Hyalubis, and IL-1, all of them are based on the same active ingredients, the linear polymer hyaluronic acid. But from different sources, roster comes from Hyalgan, biofermentation for Hyalubis, IL-1, different molecular weights, very well defined molecular weight for Hyalgan. It is not low, medium, high, super high, is 500, 730 kilodalton, where Hyalubix and IL-1 are based on high molecular weight, 1.5, 2 million Dalton. And different concentration and different patient profile. My moderate for Hyalgan, because it makes sense to use Hyalgan, the drug that can induce the synthesis of ex novo HA only when we still have cartilage. When we do not have any more cartilage in our joint, we need just to slow down the friction between the two bones. So this is the case of Hyalubix or IL-1, the viscous supplement that can show just mechanical activity, lubrication and shock absorber activity. And at the end, different dosing regimen based on our clinical trials. So natural, this is a key word for us in Fidia, because all of our products, Hyalgan, Hyalubix, as well as IL-1, are based on natural HA. What does it mean? It means that they are safe, because when they degrade inside the joint, they can degrade in smaller fragments, but even HA. In contrary, cross-linked product, of course, it is the name, they are cross-linked with something else. So they cannot show the same safety profile as Fidia HA products. Hyalgan, just a few words about these evergreen products that all of us in Fidia are very, very proud of it. More than 125 clinical studies where we involved more than 18,000 patients. Over 30 years clinical experience, first product approved, so launched in Europe in 1987 and approved in US 10 years later in 1997. But the first product available in more than 17 countries and approximately 60 million injections administered worldwide. So, of course, Fidia is very well known because behind our company there is a lot of science. And of course, it's common to have so many clinical trials after the first years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But after 25, 30 years, we are very, very pleased to all of you, physicians, very, very strong believers on Hyalgan, that help us to publish this very up-to-date clinical trials, because Fidia stopped to support any kind of clinical trials up to 2002. And all the other clinical trials are made by spontaneous clinical trials, but all of our believers worldwide. So again, we have a clinical experience in all the different joints, from TMJ, shoulder and hip, ankle, and of course knee. And what I like just to highlight, to summarize in one paper, is this 30 years of solid experience, where you can find in this paper made by Professor Guidolin, lot of issue topics, very, very important for the management of OA with in particular HA. But I want just to stay just for a while on this fact. So Hyaluronic has a very well-defined molecular weight, 530 kilodalton. So it is not too small, not too big, but just the perfect size to keep in touch with receptors, CD44, ICAM1, and RAM, that are present on the surface of the synoviocytes. And in this case, we can speak about the fact that Hyaluronic is able to interact with the three major actors on the cartilage, the inflammatory cells, the synoviocyte, and the chondrocyte, in order to improve the metabolism of the cartilage. So, the voice of the video, I need the... There was just a very short, but good. No, well, the video was, no, the previous one. This one. Okay. Voice. There is no voice.
Molecular weight. This confers to the molecule its long... Hyaluronic is made up of a homogeneous fraction of hyaluronic acid with a 500 to 730 kilodalton molecular weight. This confers to the molecule its long-term biological effects. Induction of the endogenous synthesis of hyaluronic acid,
and what's happening? Otherwise I can go on.
reduction of synthesis of inflammatory mediators, reduction of pain. In normal conditions, hyaluronic acid is continually synthesized and metabolized within the joint. It is produced and released by synoviocytes, crosses the synovial membrane, and diffuses into the synovial fluid to lubricate and prevent mechanical damage. This property, known as viscoelasticity, is responsible for protecting the joint movement. Moreover, by interacting with specific receptors, CD44, ICAM1 and RAM, on synoviocytes and chondrocytes, it exerts its long-term biological effect, called viscoinduction, with the synthesis of physiological hyaluronic acid ex novo.
Okay. So this is just a short summary. Okay, thank you. So another key words for Hyaluronic is DMOAD. Maybe all of you already know the meaning of this word. That is disease modifier osteoarthritis drug. You know, Hyaluronic is the only drug HA-based worldwide, and we thank Professor Goldberg from US that in 2007 spoke about this particular class of hyaluronants in the treatment of osteoarthritis. And the only one product that was able to stimulate, on one side, stimulate the chondrocyte growth and metabolism, and on the other side, inhibit the chondrocyte degradation, plus the inhibition of chondrocyte apoptosis with an anti-inflammatory effect, is Hyaluronic. And this is published in his paper, published in Osteoarthritis and Cartilage 2007. Then we move to Hyalubrix, medical device sourced from biofermentation. So Hyalubix is for all the joints, is a 3-dose regimen, HA-based products. And I want just to focus on the shoulder. We know that the osteoarthritis of, this is good, another review by Professor Guidolin on this very well focused fraction, 1.52 million Dalton. That is the same molecular weight either for Hyalubix or for IL-1. This is just to show you the effectiveness on the shoulder, even if we know that the shoulder osteoarthritis is not so common in our patients, but in this case we divided in 2 groups, and we see that Hyalubix plus physiotherapy versus just physiotherapy, we have a significant difference in pain relief up to 6 months. Moreover, we would like to focus on IL-1. IL-1 is Fidia mono-injection treatment, and it is indicated for hip and knee osteoarthritis. And I'm very pleased to present to all of you this paper that was published 2 years ago, and in which Migliore, this is a multi-center study within 30 centers in Italy, in which they involved more than 1,000 patients. And this is the only one paper published in which they categorize all the patients by age or by body mass index. And this is amazing. Why? First of all, we wanted to point out the effectiveness of the cycle therapy. So osteoarthritis is a worsening, chronic and degenerative and inflammatory disease. So one shot, it makes no sense. It makes sense to speak about cycle therapy. So all these patients are treated with one shot of IL-1 every 6 months, up to 84 months, okay? So up to 7 years. What are the outcomes? So regarding all our patients, we see that we have a patient under 40, from 40 to 50, 50, 60, up to over 80 years old. And these are all the kind of your patients that are asking you a treatment for the management of osteoarthritis. Of course, based on the age, based on the different pathology, based on the different lifestyle, the benefits that they expected should be different, completely different. And so for all of them, this is the first important outcome. The first thing is that after the first cycle, they have a very important improvement. They have a very important pain relief. But every 6 months, thanks to one cycle treatment, they not only maintain this well-being of their joint, but they improve much better. Now we would like just to focus on very old patients that are a chronic issue for us in Italy, because we are a lot of people aged from 70 to 90 years old and even more. And so what about these patients? They are considered quite old in the majority of the other country. And so with this local non-invasive treatment, we can maintain this well-being. We can slow down the pain. We can slow down the NSAID intake consumption. And what is good, in this case is, this is wrong, in this case, this is the Lecain index. Lecain index is an index that can guide us about the function of our joints. Look at the old or very old patients. At the beginning, they age 80, at the end, 87, okay? And so for all of them, we improve the function of the joints. And this is very important for all our patients who want to slow down the pain, but want even to improve the function of their joints. Maybe, and the same VAS pain scale, Lecain index, and NSAID intake we have based on different body mass index. Of course, you know that the first important guide for the management of osteoarthritis for all your patients is to lose weight, to lose kilos. But sometimes it's still difficult for your patients. But in this case, you see the obese, versus overweight versus normal patients. And you know that sometimes it's just enough to lose 5 kilos in order to have much better outcome from any kind of treatment. But in this case, you can see that even obese patients can have a very good result for the treatment in a VAS pain scale and say consumption and the CAN index as well. So the conclusion of this paper is, first of all, that all the groups exhibit a statistically significant efficacy at 6 months. And then it's very important the psychotherapy up to 7 years, up to 84 months. Of course, excellent safety profile even after repeated injection cycles, and this is important. Safety is important as well as effectiveness in a lot of treatments. And of course, IL-1 may delay arthroplasty surgery in the context of the global management of OA patients. So when in front of you, you have to treat a patient of just 50 years old that should be candidate for replacement. And surgery should be for sure the best option, but maybe it is too young for a replacement. So one shot and psychotherapy of IL-1 can help him to go to surgery in 3, 4, 5 years. We got some other good papers on the delay of surgery with IL-1 as well. And as you see, the greatest efficacy is with normal people aged from 50 to 70 years old suffering from EPO-NEOA, but as you see, efficacy of IL-1 even in the elderly population. That for us in Europe, let's say, in Italy specifically, is very, very important. So the keywords for us is 7 years clinical trials and psychotherapy. One shot, it makes no sense for the patient and for you as well. I'd like to conclude with this paper from Migliore, and this is not a clinical trial, is a real-life study. So he asked his patient, 187 patients, to come back to him for the second visit when they feel pain. You know, because we used to say that our product, the efficacy of our product lasts up to 6 months. Up to means up to 6, 7, 8. We didn't know at the beginning. So thanks to this study, we can say that 32% of the patients can got benefit up to 9 months, 30 up to 10 months, 21 up to 11, and 17 up to 12 months, up to 1 year. So what does it mean? It means that the conclusion is that 2/3 of your patient can get benefit up to 9, 10 months. 1/3 of your patient can get benefit up to 1 year. This does not mean that one shot 1 year. No, just in selected patients. But who knows in advance that this patient could get benefit up to 1 year? No one. So our suggestion, and this is with all our HA believers worldwide, and you know that we are present in 70 countries, is please visit again your patient after 6 months. So this does not mean that you have to retreat all of them. 90% of the case you have to retreat them, but visit them every 6 months, and then because you have to monitor this pathology that is very, very common, seems to be easy, but there is not yet a real cure for them. So, yeah, 2/3 of your patients should have benefit up to 9, 10 months, and just selected patients up to 1 year. Okay? This is the conclusion. So, of course, you got the best after 6 months, and then you can have still benefit up to 1 year, but you have to visit your patient again after 6 months. This is a very good treatment. This is not a miracle treatment, and should be a good partner for any kind of patient. Patients suffering from OA before surgery, in order to postpone, to delay the surgery just for a while if the patient is too young for replacements, or during or immediately after the surgery, when you have to face a very early rehabilitation phase. In this case, for the rehabilitation phase, not in the operating room, but after the first medication, even in surgical patients, HA treatment should be a good benefit treatment for your patients. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Piera, for this long talk about the biologic treatment, and the long essay may protect you from questions. I think no questions because the time have passed, but I have, but I am inquiring. I must say, these biologic treatment for only mild to moderate cases of osteoarthritis, and are clinically effective depending on the molecular weight, right? So, you have three preparations: Hyalgen and Hyalubrex and Hyal1. Hyalubrex and Hyal1 have the same molecular weight, while the first is regimen is 3 intra-articular injection, while Hyal1 is 1 injection.
In this case, it depends on the volume. So Hyalubrex is 20 milligrams into ml, 30 milligrams into ml. And Hyal1 is 60 milligrams in 4 ml. So this is just indicated for one-shot treatment. So based on the same molecular weight, the difference is made by the volume. Okay? And we have a clinical effectiveness shown by clinical evidence that one shot can have benefit up to 6 months.
Thank you, Piera, for this nice presentation, and we will move to the other session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.